Right. Okay, guys, we are live. It's Friday night. We've got our battered sausages and chips ordered. We're ready to rock. We've got a beer, and I'm looking forward to a little chat about the Palace game tomorrow. But before the Palace game, we're going to talk about the AC Milan craziness Wednesday night. We've got Keith at Eden Ryan on Twitter as usual, and Ivan at Ivan Jennings on Twitter. The two experts to talk about the Reds. Okay, guys, how are you? It's Friday night. You feeling good?
Feeling
All good?
Yeah, good. Sorry I'm late.
You're all right.
Delayed
We're
things
all
now
right.
this evening. Spoiling his point of playing. Good man.
We'll have a nice little chat about the Reds. What more do you want? A beer
Cheers,
and talk
everybody.
about Liverpool. Cheers.
Yeah.
Here's the three points tonight and 3 points tomorrow. Okay, so before we talk about Palace Wednesday night, guys, that was some game. That reminded me, I was talking to Ivan earlier. That was like the 17-18 season where we were just fucking heavy metal football, craziness, loads of chances, giving away chances, so many chances going forward, comebacks, great goals. That was just beautiful. Eamon Kelly, how feel you well, bro? So what did you think of the game? Ultimately, we got the win, and that was really important considering the other game was 0-0. And it was just great to get the win out of the way because I think that on Milan side weren't bad, actually. Keith, what did you think of the game?
Just kind of go back to what we spoke about before the game, lads. You kind of call. I didn't call wholesale changes, and you did call. Wholesale is probably too strong a word, but you guys did call 3 to 4 changes, and that's what we kind of saw. I didn't see it, to be honest with you. But certainly at the start of the game, those changes certainly seemed to be working in their favor. Like that start was just phenomenal. It was anything from 17 through to 20, really, wasn't it? It's almost those 2.5 seasons of full on high press football. And it was brilliant, and it was fantastic to see. And we probably should have got a little bit more out of that period or that passage of play to get ourselves maybe a little bit further ahead. And then there was a couple of stupid sucker punch type goal things that came out of nowhere. One of the things I did notice when they played against United last season was, their one-touch football, counter press once they've been, outside of that. Very similar to, I think, how we played against City a couple of years ago, how we played against that, in terms of 1-2 touch, get past the first press. And once you get past the first press, the world is your oyster and it all opens up. And I think they exploit that very well and did it against us on 2 occasions and probably fortuitously got 2 goals out of it, right? But played very well to get their 2 goals, and it was lovely one-touch football. If we'd have scored those 2 goals, we would have been waxing lyrical about how fucking good those goals were, right? So you've got to hand it to them. They played very well. But we came out second half, and we didn't kind of second-guess our strategy. We didn't second-guess the way we were going to play. We came out second half, very similar to the first half. We got our just rewards, and we came away with 3-2. So it kind of felt a little bit like it felt more like a Rodgers team kind of match in Europe than it did a Klopp match.
Yeah,
definitely we had loads of chances and we were on the front foot and we were pressing quite well, but we were also conceding some silly goals, and as well as a 3-2, it could have worked out as a 2-2 or even a 2-1. So I think it's. There's a lot of stuff going on in that game that we need to maybe sit down and take a close look at. But ultimately, we came out on the right end. It was fantastic. It was a really good, European night at Anfield, and it was a great spectacle from that perspective. And like when you look at the rest of the games and the types of games that happened all around Europe over the week, I don't think there's anything that happened like that anywhere. And Anfield will serve that up again and again and again in terms of its entertainment. So from an entertainment perspective, I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
The atmosphere, apparently, I wasn't at the game, but even on the telly, it was exuding out of the television. The atmosphere is meant to be unbelievable.
It was goosebumps. Yeah, you never walk alone with goosebumps at the start. It was unbelievable, watching it. I think you raised a really good point there, Keith, about if we were to sit down and analyze it. I'd love to be in the next day post-game review with Klopp to see, you know, how he picked apart the goals, you know,
when it went wrong.
Exactly. Now I think, as you said, so it was some of the best football I've seen in a couple of years. It was on edge of the seat stuff. It was phenomenal, and we blew them away. But again, Milan are a good side with good coaches, and they played their way back into the game to a certain extent, and they kept themselves kind of above water. But if you look at the Trent's mistake, you look at the communication between the two centre backs, I'd be really interested to know what he says. Like, if we were to play that again, how would we do it differently? And I think with the games coming up and the possibility of changing those partnerships again, how do we stop those kinds of goals coming in? Because they were pretty bad goals, you know.
They were too easy, weren't they?
They were too easy. They were very easy. Now, having said that, at halftime, as I said on Twitter, I was sitting down having a beer, really enjoying it, convinced we would come back and win it, and we did, and really happy with the 3 points. And if the rest of the games go like that, that's cool. But I think for a team that have been so good at the back, and where we've been so delighted with clean sheets, there's a bit of work to be done there. There's a little bit of a discussion needs to be had there.
I think we play high risk football, right? We play high risk football because of the quality of our centre halves, right? And we mixed the quality of the centre halves. There's no getting away from that. You know, I'm not having a dig at Gomez whatsoever.
He's not. He's not Van Dijk. Let's be real.
He's not Van Dijk, and Van Dijk has had a lot more. Van Dijk has had more games, you know, back in the fold than Gomez has, you know, at this level. But we're happy enough to play high risk football. So we bomb on our two fullbacks, right? And we allow 2 against 2, and then sometimes we allow 3 against 2. And we're happy enough to say that if we've got Joel Matip there and we've got Van Dijk there, right? Well, then that's okay, because you know what? They're good enough. They're good enough to get us out of a hole, right? And that's the way we play football. So, like, you can turn around and throw, you know, Trent under the bus and say, you know, okay, you are out of position for both goals. You were out of position for this. You were out of position for that, and that's absolutely fine. But you can't have him bombing forward, scoring fucking goals and putting on assists left, right, and center, and then have him, you know, 40, 50 yards back up the pitch when transition breaks down. He's in the right position to play the ball, but it breaks down somewhere else in the pitch, and it's a quick 1, 2, 3 pass. Yeah. Physically, there's no one on the planet who can do that. Yeah.
No, I think there were phases after his mistakes. I think there were still 1 or 2 phases where the others could have been better.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with you. It just comes down his side, so it automatically looks like, because it's on the right wing, or that right wing, their left attacking wing, it looks like it looks like he's at fault, or he's positioned poorly. So,
but as Ivan
there's no perfect system in football. There is no perfect system in football. There's always a counter system to a system, and if you look at teams long enough and you have enough time to prepare for the system, you can come up with a counter system against a single team. Like, that's just the way football is. Yeah. That's why it's always evolving.
Again, that's a really good point. So, like as good as Trent is, you still hear, you know, at the start of games, I think they're going to target Trent. Yeah. And people are kind of going, what? Target Trent? What do you mean? Like, he's a really good footballer, but they're targeting the system
and the space that he leaves behind.
It's the space he leaves. Yeah, he leaves gaps in behind, you know. Exactly. And I mean, even Robertson leaves gaps as well, because they're both wingers, really. They're like, you know, the defending wingers. But Robertson is, I think, a little bit more of a defender in the back of his mind, probably because he played in the lower leagues for Hull and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I think he's more disciplined.
He's more disciplined as well. The gaps aren't as big. Yeah. And maybe, as you just said, maybe they target Trent more, so it looks worse. They target that side more than Robertson's side, you know?
I think he recovers better, to be honest with you. I think he's the faster around the pitch. I think he's faster. So when he needs to recover, I think he recovers a little bit better, to be honest with you. And that's just due to his size or his physicality or his athleticism. He just recovers a lot better, to be honest with you. Listen, he's not immune to being caught out either in that system, to be honest with you. It could be one, it could be the other, you know? So he's not immune from that perspective.
And remember, Van Dijk is on his side. Do you know what I mean? Van Dijk plays on the left.
And he wasn't there the other night. But the thing about the other player I want to have a little quick chat about, Origi. Now, I was surprised to see him on the pitch, to be fair. I really was. I thought he did okay. I mean, it's a lovely assist for Salah's goal, the little flick over the top. He could have had a goal himself. He did okay, actually, I thought.
I thought he was decent. And in fairness to him, like he needs a run of games. He's not world class. He's just not. But he's a really good striker, and I think, you know, Klopp was talking about people not coming in to buy him. Well, he was never really put in the shop window. Do you know what I mean? We stuck with the three lads up front and never really gave him a run where somebody might go, actually, you know what, he is really good. Because when he did play for us and he scored in semi-finals and finals, that was on the back of a run of 5 or 6 games, and he was playing in the league as well. So it's unfortunate, and I think he did a decent enough job, and I think we'd probably see more of him now, particularly over this month with the six remaining games. You know, I thought he was fine. Decent game.
Yeah, I don't think he'll start tomorrow. We'll go through the teams for the Palace game, but I think he'll be more in line for the Norwich midweek in the League Cup, because he will definitely mix it up for that. But anyway, we got the win. And then the other game,
he's got 9 months. He's got 9 months left on his contract. He's what, 4th, 5th choice striker now at the moment.
Yeah. And I think, Pete, the language they're using is very much that he was always for sale. Do you know what I mean? And Klopp is very, very frank about that he was up for sale, an offer didn't come in, but he's still in my team and I love him, so I'm going to use him, which I think is incredible.
If you're 4th or 5th in the European, in the European Cup match, right? Champions League Cup match against a team that have in one of the top leagues have won their first 3, and he comes up with an assist like that, where, you know, that's all you really want him to do, and he's 4th or 5th, choice striker. I don't think he did a huge amount outside of that, and he went down with cramp, which is obviously probably due to his his lack of football. Lack of football. But like, he came up with a sublime assist for Salah.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Absolutely sublime. So if we've got 4th or 5th choice strikers coming up and doing shit like that, well then listen, I'm all for it and absolutely fine. But as much as he loves the place and he hangs around the place and he likes Liverpool, it's very difficult to see him extending past his 9 months, and he'll probably just go somewhere on a free. And the reason he didn't have any serious offers in the summer is because he's got a year left on his contract and he's a free agent thereafter, and he'll find a club, because there's absolutely a place for him. It's just not at Liverpool, right? So let's try and see if we can get the absolute best from him, get him to enjoy his football for the last 9 months that he's at the club. Get out there, enjoy your football. We know you're going. Give us what you have. Give us the best that you can do. Get a couple of goals. Cement your legacy within the club if you get an opportunity, and go ahead and do that.
A legend.
Yeah.
Well, look, he got a lot of, I don't know whether he's IDB on Twitter quite a lot, and he got some bleeding stick.
Oh,
he got stick off me. I gave him stick.
I mean, listen, we all gave Origi stick, I suppose.
Yeah,
I even said he should have went in 2019 when we won the Champions League, because his stock was highest then, that summer. But Klopp obviously wanted to hold on to him because he just scored the 2 goals against Barca.
I think he plays on his back foot too much. I don't think he gets involved too much. He wants everything played in front of him. He wants everything over the top. He needs to be playing the game front-footed. He can't come short. There's a load of different things that he doesn't do well, or has no interest.
It doesn't suit our system as well, though, Keith, really. He doesn't suit the system.
There's absolutely teams out there that will get the absolutely benefit from him. He scores goals. He scored goals at every level. So that's not going to stop. He's probably a 10 to 15 goal a season player in the right system, in the right club. Absolutely is. It's just not. It's just not
Liverpool. No. As Sir Oswald Fortitude says, what a name. We should not be surprised by Origi's ability. I remember him blowing teams away as a young player, breaking into the Belgium national team. I actually remember him as a young player saying, we got to sign him up. He was like a hot prospect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we got the win. 3 points in the bag. That was the main thing, I suppose, out of that. No injuries or anything like that. And tomorrow, 3 o'clock, an unusual time for Liverpool to be kicking off on a Saturday, traditional 3 o'clock at Anfield, of course. It's the return, it's the Palace Liverpool, the Eagles return tomorrow. We had a bad record against, up until recently, they were a bogey team for Liverpool. They beat us in 2017. I'll always remember the game at Anfield. And that was the last game we lost at Anfield when we went on that big run of like 60 or 4 games unbeaten at Anfield. They were the last team to beat us, And even after that, they gave us 1 or 2 dodgy games. But we seem to have got the turn the hoodoo around on them. I know it was a 7-0, but that was sort of a one-off type of thing. We beat them. Remember, it was a 7-0, I think, at their ground. Remember that? Even Minamino scored.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a tough game tomorrow. I watched them against Spurs and West Ham. They're a different team. the attack when they're not gung-ho, you know what I mean, with the way Palace used to be. They've got a system about them. As we know, Vieira is the manager, and he has them a bit more disciplined. You're playing 10 men, I know that, against Spurs and stuff, and Spurs had a few players missing, but they absolutely pissed on Spurs. They beat them 3-0, could have been more. Your man Zaha's a danger. Edward, who they got from Celtic, came on and scored 2 in the last bleeding 10 minutes. They've a young lad, Gallagher, on loan, I think from City, or Chelsea is a City, I think it is. Looks really good. They've a few good players. I think it'll be a tough game tomorrow. What do you think tomorrow, Keith?
I think looking at the team during the week, I think Klopp may have put more stock in this game than he actually did against Milan, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think he's made his changes to go back full team. So, start a good team at Anfield against Crystal Palace. So I've been generally impressed with them, to be honest with you. Impressed with them in terms of their organisation as opposed to anything else. I think playing against 10-man Spurs, they scored 3 goals. I would not put any stock in that now whatsoever, to be honest with you. But up until the sending off, they were well in that game, and they were very well structured, to be honest with you. They do look like a team that are set up to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
And then to maybe nick one with the players they have up front, whether it's Zaha or Benteke getting the end of something. So that's the way they look like, the way they're playing at the moment. They look like to soak up and then spring quite quickly and then try and catch teams on the break. So, when you look at it, that's probably the worst type of team that we play against, because if they're going to sit in deep. Now, I think we're made of different gravy this year in relation to that, by the way, right? So, but I do think we might see a reverse, might revert back to maybe our strongest looking 11 with less changes now.
Yeah.
And that's the way he's looked at it. That's just the way Klopp has looked at it, I suppose, in terms of this group of games. We've got this now. We go strong against Palace, rest a lot of lads against Norwich, and then let's just see what we need to do then against Brentford.
I think it's
Brentford
Brentford away then, isn't it?
Yeah. So, you'd have to think that Van Dijk comes back in. But does Van Dijk come back in, and does he rest Matip?
Does he mess Matt? You know what? I think Matip might be. I think Canate could start tomorrow.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry. No, I think it'll be Gomez and Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, yeah. I think Matip. I mean, I seen a vlog today. It was so funny. He goes, my God, how many games has Matip played? And he hasn't been injured yet. You know what I mean? He's really tempting fate.
No, do you know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about today to not say fucking anything about injuries until we get through October. I think if we can get through October with no fucking injuries whatsoever, no serious injuries, right?
You just said them 3 times.
Yeah. Well, I'm touching on wood here and fucking clicking, doing all sorts of shit now. But if we can get through this group of games, break for international,
game, you mean,
and then the next couple of games after that. Yeah, you know what? We're probably in decent shape going forward. I'd be really confident that we turn over Crystal Palace now tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm confident. I don't want to be overconfident. You can get bitten, But
yeah, I think it'll be a game. But like we've had a couple of 4-3s against these. I was over there 2 years ago, and it was a 4-3. But I think the way I feel about it at the moment is like we respect teams. Of course, we have to. They're all decent. They'll give us a game, but I expect us to just step it up. And when we need to, we should turn them over. We could concede tomorrow. I know that Trent was calling out that Zaha is the most difficult player he's played against on that side, and they'll target Trent, or that space over there.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be open to an extent, but I expect us to turn them over, probably a 2-1 or a 3-1, something like that.
So what would you do tomorrow? Obviously, there's question marks on. I think he will go strong tomorrow. Firstly, we're at home. Secondly, it's the Premier League, and it's going to be so tight this year. I even heard him today in the press conference saying you can't afford to even draw games.
No,
you just, you can't. It's so tight. So I think you go as strong as you can possibly tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hope you don't get injuries. You can rest everybody. You can rest the spine against Norwich. It's the League Cup, guys. We know what Klopp thinks of the League Cup. Let's be real. Most of the guys have
it feels like and it's kind of a difference to other seasons. It almost feels like the Champions League is being managed this season, whereas previously he would have gone full on Champions League and tried to manage the league in terms of mixes and matching. It feels a little bit like it's a little bit of a reversal this year, where he might try a couple of bits and pieces because he thinks, you know what, we're actually strong. We're a lot stronger than the teams in Europe now at the moment. So we've got through Milan. You know, we get through Porto on 6 points. Maybe make a couple of changes left, right, and centre, but we go fucking balls on for the week for the league, and we go balls out of the league. So I wouldn't be surprised now at all if he goes very strong.
I'd agree with you.
Our top starting 11.
Look,
maybe with the change of centre half.
I'd agree. So look, when we were talking a few weeks ago, we were saying it'll be another 9+ league. I'm convinced it will be, and it'll be a game here or there. Like I think United will improve, Chelsea there, ourselves, City. You know, it'll be between those couple of teams, or the games between those couple of teams. But I also think he hasn't bought Kanate to leave him on the bench. You know, you don't spend that kind of money to leave him on the bench. So I think he will want to integrate him in some capacity in some of the big games. And I think bringing him in maybe tomorrow with Van Dijk, or leaving Gomez in for another game, because I just thought the goals that they conceded the other night, like you can't, they'll kill you, you know. And it just proves that two in the middle, they have to be playing together. They have to know each other. They have to know each other's game. They have to communicate. But apart from that, it's strong. It's the rest of the team picks itself, and they'll go after them.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think tomorrow we'll go as strong as he can. I said, you know, he still might rest Matip, but he'll definitely bring VVD back. VVD is coming back.
Definitely. I think he could. I think he could rest Matip, and he could have said, "I'm going to rest one of you for one game and one of the other games," and somebody steps in at centre half now next week. And listen, if Kanate doesn't step in as centre half, well then you know he's obviously not ready or anywhere near as ready as you think he's going to be. But like, I think one of the important things as well would be the control, right? So when you look at where the goals came from the other night, like pretty much midfield was bypassed in terms of positioning, right? So it was 1, 2, 3 passes in on goal, right? Another thing we certainly have to start looking at, right, especially in Europe, is the fucking dark arts in terms of, like, there was a couple of times where there's lads breaking through from the middle of the park, no lads on yellow cards, right? And we're just letting them play passes, and there's no attempt to take him down, and no attempt to stop him in his tracks. So that kind of stuff, we seem quite naive in some of those spaces, to be honest with you. And I was looking at the other night, kind of going, someone needs to take him down. Someone needs to take him down. Someone needs to, you know, buy a foul. And even
but our disciplinary record's unbelievable, Keith.
What's that?
Our disciplinary record is unbelievable. You know, we don't get red cards. We get very few yellow cards. I don't think that is something that Klopp encourages.
No, I agree with you. But at that level in a 3-2 game, when you've got, and it's not even just that, but there were so many opportunities during the week where we could have taken the ball into the corner, or we could have recycled the ball 3 or 4 times, and we're going for another goal. Now that's fucking great. It's fantastic. It's lovely football, and we're all kind of going, yeah. But in the cold light of day, you're kind of going, could we not recycle that ball for 30 seconds? Could we not recycle that ball, or hit it into the corner, move everybody up the pitch, buy a free kick, do that kind of stuff? I don't see us doing that, right? And maybe the Premier League is not the place for it, right? The Premier League is not the place for it. But certainly at a European level, when the refs are the refs, right? There was easily 5 or 6, 7, 8 minutes there that we could have absolutely just murdered and killed with possession football, or buying a free kick, or doing all that kind of stuff. And like, people might say it's not football and we don't fucking like it, whatever else it is, but like, that's what wins you.
No, it's a fair point.
It's doing that kind of stuff. I'd love to see us being a little bit more of a shithouse all around the pitch. I would love that, to be honest with you. You know, like the last time I saw us,
you're saying we're too soft, Keith, are you?
No, I'm not saying we're too soft. We're definitely not too soft. I just think we're not maybe as
cute,
streetwise as we could be in certain situations. You know, and maybe that's just not his philosophy. He doesn't want to see it, which is absolutely fine, to be honest with you. And he can.
Well, that's it. But Fabinho, you could say Fabinho now gets his foot in and drags, and you just see him doing the little Brazilian.
I think you're right. You never see us take it into the corner.
No.
Never. We don't
Only
do
Milner
it.
does that in a
Milner,
semi-final when
the
you're
odd
4-0 up.
And he did it. And Milner did it.
And Milner did it.
And I fucking tweeted,
Exactly.
go on, Millie. Like, we took it into the corner and bought a free kick. But if Salah gets, he's going to want to score a goal. Mane gets it, he wants to score a goal. He's just not really giving a shit about anybody else. Now, listen, I'm all right with that, by the way, if they're scoring fucking hats full of goals, right? If they're clinical and they're scoring 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. If they're only scoring fucking 1 out of 10 chances, well, then they need to be a little bit more shit.
Can I ask you, like, for me, and I just talking the day beforehand, the confidence is so high. Like, are you, with 5 minutes to go, are you worried? Were you worried? I wasn't. I was convinced we'd hang on, regardless of how we were playing. And that goes back to a year or two ago where we turned games around with 5 minutes to go, or we saw games out at 1-0, and there was no chance we were going to concede. It just didn't feel like it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I was a little
I didn't have that. I didn't have that sense against Milan.
Really, I did. Yeah.
No, I didn't, because Van Dijk wasn't on the pitch.
Yeah.
That was my problem. I thought
the
leader of Van Dijk. If he would have been there, it might have been different. I was a little bit hiding underneath the fucking table in the last 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going for my famous walk nearly for the last 10 minutes.
It's not even about killing minutes. It's about killing momentum.
Yeah.
It's killing momentum. It's getting teams, like, if you take a minute out of their momentum, if they're all fucking gung-ho on top of you and you kill that minute, that 30 seconds, it's not about the time sometimes. It's about the momentum.
The
it's
rhythm.
about the psyche, and it's about going, the other team turn around saying, "Oh, there's nothing in this for us now. We may as well just play it out."
Do you know what it is? It's football intelligence as well, lads. You know what I mean? And I think this is a very intelligent football team, to be fair. Football-wise, I mean, Klopp's one of the most intelligent managers there is. Even the tactics, the way he does it, we know what he does. So I think it's an intelligent football team. So there's like, whatever Klopp tells them to do is what they're doing, basically. Yeah. So if he's telling them not to do what you want them to do, like, they're doing what they're told. You know what I mean?
I tell you, this is an interesting shout there, lads, right? And I've just seen a couple of people in the comments there just call out Jones. I thought Jones, his Jones, his cameo appearance the other night was phenomenal. And if you look at it compared to what anything Elliott has done since the start of the season, it was easily on par. He was brave on the ball. He took the ball.
I'll tell you what, he could have a chance tomorrow.
He was everywhere. Oh, absolutely.
Well, I'm going to ask you.
He certainly didn't do himself any. He certainly didn't do himself any damage whatsoever. I thought he was phenomenal when he came on. I
don't think he's going to start. So, like we were talking last week, he's the most similar to Elliott in terms of how he plays.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. He had a good cameo. But again, he in the full games that he started last season, he hasn't done anything near what Elliott did in the couple of games that he started. But he's got a massive opportunity. Like, he'll get game time over the next couple of months.
He'll get game time, especially with Elliott being out as well. He will get game time. Yeah. Well, what do you think then? Tomorrow, obviously, Alisson stays and go. We know that. That's basically it. Are you saying to me Tsimikas has no chance? He'll go Trent Robbo and he'll go VVD. He'll come back. Do you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think Matip, Brests and Gomez, VVD play tomorrow. You know that? Yeah. The more I think. I mean, it seems logical to me. He can have a full week off. He doesn't even have to play for the Norwich game next week either.
We won't even recognise the team on Tuesday night.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. It'll be all the kids. But it'd be like the young boys the other night against United. Yeah. So, and then in the midfield, I think Fabinho has to.
I think Konate makes more sense than Gomez in that type of game. So I think he's a bit more physical.
Why?
Yeah, I think he's more physical. I think he's more physical.
For your first game?
First game, though. Big game tomorrow. No.
First game.
Konate's first game.
Yeah, but Gomez has only had a game during the week.
But they played together before. This is.
But they know each other.
This is his debut. This is his, Premiership debut. I think it's. I'm not saying he couldn't do it. I just think it's risky. And I'd go with Gomez. He's played there before, knows him. Yeah. Just get over it. We play it during the week. You get your first game out of the way on Tuesday, and then we'll see possibly start at Brentford then.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
I think it's less risky at home. I think it's less risky at home than it is throwing him in away.
Yeah. But I think you could start Konate against Norwich. It's a no-brainer. It's sort of a free ride, isn't it? A free ticket to say.
Yeah.
Against Norwich, it doesn't really matter. Then we Brentford.
He'll want to start integrating him though into a a proper first team playing squad at some stage. Maybe this is too soon. You might be right. Maybe it's too soon.
But you're dead
at
right.
Some stage, he's going to have to be in a starting Champions League squad or a Premier League squad at some point in time. And what's the best time to do that?
Would you say we go 2 or 3 up tomorrow? Does he bring him on for the last half an hour? That would be good. Do you know what I mean? Experience when we're on top. Play beside Virgil for half an hour when we're coasting. You don't know.
It's rare he swaps out with centre halves in a match.
But the way he was talking today, Keith, he kept on talking. I don't know whether you've seen the conference he did, the press conference. Kept on talking about the 5 centre halves that he has. And that he's so happy, and Kanate, he's a big unit, and VVD and Matip are going to have to be rotated, and Gomez, because of the injuries that they had. Then he mentioned Kanate had an injury at the back end of the last season for Leipzig. Yeah. So these 4 are going to be cotton wool. I can even see Phillips get the odd game. Phillips will start against Norwich. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But back to tomorrow, I'm going to give you my 11. You either agree to it or not. Give me your own 11. I'm going to go Alisson. I'm going to go.
Don't agree. I don't agree. No.
You eat your bleeding sausage and batter, will you? Right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna keep Trent and Robbo. I'm gonna bring in Gomez with VVD.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago. I think Thiago has to start the game. And I'm gonna go Mane, Salah, Jota. Go. Keith.
Agreed.
The only question mark I would put on any of that is either Kanate or Gomez. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Ivan, you've the same team, exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. You've no shout for the likes of Curtis or Milner or any of them?
not to start. No. Because it's like, again, the first milestone was Wednesday. That's out of the way. I see these next 2 games as a set of games. Knock Saturday off and play whoever you want on Tuesday. And if we win, great. We've got another game for that second team to play again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Saturday. No injuries. And I think he's made a really good point about how we might be prioritizing the Premiership over the Champions League this year. Yeah. Because I think it's going to be so tight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Guys, we're going to have it's going to be a nice, easy one tonight. Keith wants to eat his chipper food, so we're going to go now in a minute or two.
No, I've also got my daughter trying on her communion dress, and she's trying to catch my attention, so
but listen, we're going to go now in a minute. We're going to call.
No, it's 2 weeks Saturday.
Saturday.
Presumably not overlapping with the game, right?
You'd have to cancel the communion now, Mom. You know yourself.
What time is kickoff?
The Brentford away.
I don't know. Is it 12:30? Is it?
I don't even know. Anybody know in the chat there for the Brentford game?
Somebody find out quick.
We'll find out.
Quick. Good evening, gents. Benteke tends to play left to centre, closer to Zaha.
I better go, guys.
Keith, you can go. You flow. Talk to you soon, bro.
Talk to you soon,
guys.
Half five. You're covered. You're covered. See you, Keith. Go on. You go. See you later. Cheers. Right. But I just see there Rory Fitzgerald's in the house. How are you, Rory? Hopefully you are well. So that's natural. So Kanate Gomez call is a big one for that side. Yeah. Maybe Gomez for me. That's what we said, Rory. We think VVD comes back in with Gomez.
I think
basically,
Gomez,
isn't it? Yeah.
Another game.
But Wolves half 12. Yeah. No, listen. Brentford next week is too far away from me even to be thinking about. But I know what you're saying. But the Norwich game isn't. And for me, you're looking at tomorrow. I always look at game or two and just say, right, what do we do here? But we know the way Klopp.
Like it'd be different now if there's a Champions League game next week. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think just
or a midweek Premier League game.
Yeah. Like the Carabao is a freebie.
It's freebie. Yeah. What's your take on? I mean, Klopp's there since October 15, nearly 6 years now. Next month, his take on the domestic cups. Now we know he's been in a League Cup final, lost on penalties to City. We are unlucky in that one. That's as far as we've got. A lot of fans giving out, traditionalists giving out about. Now me and your kids. The FA Cup was huge. Never mind the League Cup. It used to be called the Milk Cup, but the FA Cup is even bigger to me than the League Cup. But what's your take on that? Would you like to take more interest in the domestic cups?
I would, but you can see with all the clubs, right? There's no incentive, right?
That's
what are you going to get out of it? At best, $1 million.
Even the prize money is terrible.
Do you know what I mean? There's nothing. There's no incentive. So unless there was a Champions League space given for the winner,
I
That's the
always
only
said there should
way.
have been a Champions
Yeah,
League place
yeah,
for the FA Cup
yeah,
winner
yeah,
to see,
exactly.
and then
Yeah.
you'd get people interested.
Of course you would. And I don't think it's just the managers. I think, like, at the start of the season, Klopp sitting down with the guys and they're going, what are our objectives for this year? And it's Premiership, Champions League,
Yeah.
FA Cup right down here. And they're going, straight away, you've just deprioritized it. It's not in anyone's interest. Like, it's a bigger risk to success in the other two because of injuries.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
our squad is so tight. That's why the team like City,
Yeah.
I think they've won the League Cup for they've
5
won
times, is it now? 4 or 5 times?
ridiculous amount of times in a row. Look at the
And, like,
size of that bloody squad.
And
That's
for a club like them with such a big squad, that's the flip side of it, right? So they win a cup in February, incredible momentum on the back of that, and that brings you into the second half of the season with a bit of silverware and the team buzzing, but you have the squad to cope with it.
Do you know what it is as well? I don't know whether you've seen the comments by Pep Guardiola talking about the fans. I hope they turn up for the Southampton. I thought that was embarrassing.
Yeah, it's risky.
That really,
risky.
What did you think?
Well, like, it's known as the empty hat for a reason, right? But it is, and even the head of the supporters group came out on Sky Sports and said it. And like, when you think of the reasons that they've come out, COVID is still on, that affects every club. People are working, affects every club. We have to collect our kids, affects every club. Guardiola is coming from having coached Bayern Munich and Barcelona with 95,000 people in the stadium, and he turns up at home and there's, like, it was embarrassing, like gaps in it's embarrassing. And you see Grealish scoring and he's delighted. There's nobody even celebrating. Like, that's not good.
It looked plastic. Unfortunately,
plastic.
I mean,
plastic. When you see Anfield tomorrow, 3:00 on a Saturday, the place is going to be hopping. You saw it the other night, electric, hairs on the back of your neck watching it from TV, let alone being in the stadium. You know,
but not even Anfield. I mean, even Villa Park, all these other places, Leeds,
Ellen Road, last weekend,
Ellen Road. You know,
yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well, Ivan's a lucky man. He's off to Anfield in the morning with his son for the Palace game, so he is looking forward
an early start.
Dash, listen, enjoy it. Get as many pictures and whatever you want there, and a few beers, and enjoy the game. And hopefully, we get the 3 points tomorrow. It's just important to keep the momentum up, isn't it? No injuries, 3 points, a few goals. That's all you want. I think we'll call it a night, Ivan.
Great, Dave. Great to be on.
Happy with that. You need to get to bed now. Get ready for your flight in the morning off to Liverpool.
An early start, yeah. I'll have a couple of beers and then off to bed.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you bring back the 3 points, baby, because points mean prizes, as I always say. Thanks to Ivan Jennings and Keith Hanley. I'll talk to you soon, guys. We're going to beat. I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow. What's your scoreline?
3-1.
3-1. So we're going to concede, you think, yeah?
I think we will. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah. They're decent enough going forward. It's going to be hard to keep a clean sheet against them. But the main thing is the points, isn't it? No injuries. Just get that out of the way. Relax. Have a beer. Enjoy the game. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks for the comments. Hit the like button. I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe. Liverpool to beat Crystal Palace tomorrow at Anfield. I'm saying 2-0. Ivan is saying 3-1. Keith, I'm sure, is saying just win.